Oh, the new F1 game. What do we do with you? When EA took Codemasters under their wing a couple of years ago, I think we all knew what was going to happen to the yearly installment of the Formula 1 game. And sure enough, this year was no different. The only update to career mode was the plasticine Natalie Pinkham and red flags, which as of time of recording, just break the game. Maybe it's apt then that the only real feature in the new F1 23 is the second chapter of Breaking Point, Cody's attempt at an F1 story mode. We first saw this feature a couple of years ago, which I'll be honest I quite enjoyed, and now they've ruined it. Hey there guys, I'm Will, welcome to FP1, and allow me to explain why. Let's start then with a quick recap of Breaking Point 1 so we're all on the same page. You play as rookie to the sport Aiden Jackson. He's a bit of a crybaby.
It wasn't my fault.
But as you progress through the game, he learns the benefits of becoming a team player. Or in other words, if you don't wipe out your teammate, you might actually score some points. Speaking of his teammates, meet Casper Ackerman, who's basically Kimi Räikkönen if he could speak.
I'm retiring.
The pair find themselves locked into a battle with Devon Butler, the best thing Cody's have and likely will ever implement into the game. I can't express how perfectly Butler is written. In short, he's a dick.
It takes a brave man to admit he can't compete anymore.
Yet you just love to hate him. Breaking Point 1 covers the 2020 and 2021 seasons, where for the most part, Devon spends his time driving a wedge between Ackerman and Jackson. This leads to Casper announcing his retirement and...
Crash! Oh, they've come together!
That. In the end, it takes 18 months for Aiden and Casper to actually talk about the situation, only to realise that the overconfident arsehole of the grid was lying the whole time. Who could have seen that one coming? The game finishes with Devon turning into a kamikaze pilot and Jackson landing a podium to secure his team fourth in the standings at Abu Dhabi, setting things up for a sequel with Jackson in the top team. It didn't quite work out like that though. Cut to this year's installment, and turns out this little thumbs up by Toto Wolff instead meant that Jackson would be getting the Pascal Wehrlein experience, i.e. being shafted into Formula E. Coming to Jackson's rescue was new team to the grid Connorsport, who, in a shock twist, chose to sign Jackson alongside Devon Butler for the 2022 season. Because that sure sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? It's later revealed that the reason behind Butler's signing is all down to his dad having a lucrative sponsorship deal with the team. I could tell you more about Butler's father, but I feel that the fact that his name is Davidoff tells you everything you need to know. Connorsport have a troubled start to the year, Jackson retiring with engine problems in Miami, whilst Butler just scrapes into the points. After the race, Devon does his best to console his new teammate.
You know what they say? A shoddy workman always blames his tools.
Did I say console? I just meant he chose to be a cunt. More clashes between the pair following Canada and Hungary, where Butler ignores team orders, then runs crying to daddy in the post-race debrief. Davidoff here turns up the manipulation, which we'll return back to later. You see, while all this is going on, the Formula 2 Championship is also in full swing. And this is where the start of my complaints come in. Let me be clear about something. You can write a very good female lead. It's been done many times in the past and has been really effective. However, the 2023 way of writing a female character appears to be shoving social commentary so far down the viewers' throats that it comes out of their asses. Don't get me wrong, female representation in motorsport is a big talking point at the moment, and a really important one at that. It would be wrong to not incorporate this into the story somehow. Problem I have is she never shuts up about it.
What's it like being a woman in motorsport?
I don't know, John. What's it like being a man in journalism? Historic. Well, I mean, someone had to be the first.
Callie, have you felt any pushback from anyone in the F1 world, just with you being the first female driver in the sport?
That's not what I mean. I'm a woman. I get it. So you're a woman, and then every question about Dad, about Devon, about...
We got the point the first time, and being frank, we might actually feel for Callie more if she was actually a likeable character.
Can we get started?
Yeah, Aiden's got a meeting at Mercedes he needs to get to.
Enough!
Oh, and did I forget to mention, she just isn't.
I did not like Aiden. I thought he was immature.
Yeah, Aiden's got a meeting at Mercedes he needs to get to.
You see, Callie's a bit of an odd one. She's got very similar traits to Devon Butler in a lot of ways. Probably because she's his sister, which was meant to be a big reveal had it not leaked weeks before the game came out. Being a butler, she comes out with the same snidey remarks we'd expect from Devon, yet I can't tell if it's the acting or being up to my eyes in men are the worst things on the planet remarks. She crosses that line from being a character that you love to hate to just one that you hate. Anyway, she ends up winning the F2 championship, but gets Oscar Piastri'd when there's no seats available for 2023. That's all about to change though. Now, I've said in the past how much I love Devon Butler, so imagine my excitement when finally, after 5 years, we get the chance to play as him at the start of the 2023 season. The state of play has changed a little bit. Jackson's still around, despite him never shutting up about leaving the team. Oh, and Ackerman's back as team principal. The happy family are together again. Jackson was apparently being tipped for a drive at a top team again, but as it turned out, this was just Davidoff making up rumours to get better results and keep him at Connor Sport. Yeah, I don't get that logic either. When we dive into 2023, something's clearly not right with the younger Butler, however. He seems distracted, not his usual dickish self. This culminates at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, where Butler loses it, hits the wall, and ends his Formula 1 career. Was this a serious medical emergency? Was he at death's door? No, he had an issue with his hearing. The best thing the F1 game has ever brought to the table, and that's his send-off. A fucking ear infection. I just feel that they could have done F1's pantomime villain a little bit more justice. Send him out in a blaze of glory. This just feels like a massive disappointment. Anyway, Connor Sport are now in need for a driver. You can see where this is going, can't you? Well, not quite. Connor Sport choose to promote their reserve driver, Noah Bell, whilst keeping Devon's absence remarkably quiet, hoping no one in the F1 world would ask any questions. Bell is trash, and thus Ackerman wants a better driver in his team quickly, suggesting Callie only for Davidoff to shrug him off because he hates his daughter. Why, you ask? Because the developers decided that. Come Azerbaijan, poor Noah gets the shaft, and Maya gets the drive. And before we can move on, can we just give a special shout out to the team who make all the fake news clippings? As it appears, they've all been hired from F1 Twitter. Last year, Nick de Vries essentially had his full-time drive for the season by subbing in for Nicholas Latifi. No, he didn't, and you spelt the GOAT's name wrong as well. Elsewhere, Nico Hülkenberg replaced Perez in 2020 and Vettel in 2022. That's fine, but hold on a second. And Pietro Fittipaldi subbed in for Pascal Wehrlein in 2017. No, he didn't. That was Jesus here. Back to the action, and Callie's first race for the team would get off to a rough start, heartlessly murdering Aiden Jackson, who's now the villain for some reason, before recovering to the points. I really hope you like this story element, because that's basically on repeat for the rest of the game. I'm not even kidding. In Silverstone, they clash over team orders. In Italy, they crash again.
I did not like Aiden.
Yes, Callie, I think I get the picture. Off track, Davidoff is busy trying to make amends with his daughter, who he's decided he likes again now because that's what the writers decided, I guess. His way of showing this is threatening to pull funding from the team if they can't secure fifth. Yeah, you know what, I can see why Maya still wants nothing to do with him, to be honest. Come the final race of the season, the future of Connor Sport is on the line. Jackson and Maya decide now might be a good time to call the truce, but on the bright side, at least this guy's back.
Oi, oi! Did you miss me?
Cut to Abu Dhabi, and Jackson's engine kills itself again. Nice to see the Connor Sport car got the exact same character development as anyone else in this mess. That leaves it to Maya to storm to the podium, save the team, and then it just ends. Right, let's break this down. Breaking point 2 is, in one word, boring. It feels like the exact same story at a load of different racetracks. They could at least have spiced things up from time to time, but over the 17 chapters we get just one safety car and about 4 laps of rain. And not even a single red flag, but in hindsight maybe that's a good thing. Add to this the fact that all the levels are stupidly easy, and that's coming from someone who, as you know, isn't the best when it comes to racing games. That's not helped either by the fact that the Teletubbies probably undergo more character development than anyone else in this thing. I've moaned enough about Callie, but really everyone in the story has a set personality trait, and that's about it. The only person who gets any treatment, if any, is Devon Butler, who they try to redeem in the second half of the story, which might have worked if he wasn't back to his usual self in the interview cutscenes, which were all meant to be set after the events of the 2023 season. Don't get me wrong, it's not like Breaking Point 1 was much better, but the potential story threads that set up were all immediately retconned in favour of the same overarching story, just in a new team, and somehow they managed to make that worse. Just think, we could have got Jackson and Butler fighting in a top team for the championship. Instead, we were just confined to the midfield again, and if I'm honest, that's just a bit of a shame. That's my retrospective then on Breaking Point 2, and why I didn't particularly like it, if that wasn't clear enough already. Now I'm curious to know if I'm in the majority, or just another one of those YouTubers begging for views by being different. Let me know your thoughts on the story mode down in the comments below. While you're at it, be sure to drop this video a like and get subscribed for more content in the future. A big thank you to all my patrons and channel members for your support as well, and if you want to get involved with that, all the links you need are down in the description. That's all from me then, have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.